How's it going? And welcome back to the vlog. So it is winter time. It's officially winter time. It's cold, it's windy, it snowed all yesterday. And back in the beginning of all this stuff, I said that this was a great time to practice your flying over the winter by using a simulator. So like I told you, I'm going back to the RC hobby. I'm collecting all of my RC gear right now. And the first thing I went out and I bought was a simulator. And if you want to get into the hobby, you don't have to go out and buy the latest, greatest, most expensive simulator out there. You can go out and buy some of the cheaper simulators. There's actually some free simulator software out there that you can go on eBay and find the control unit. It looks something like this to use with a free or cheaper software. I've seen simulator software start at $15. If you want a decent simulator, I mean, I'm not going to endorse it, but I usually use RealFlight. When I started flying many years ago, I had Dave Brown's, which looked like a stick figure helicopter, pod and boom, drawn out of sticks, with a big brown controller. I can't remember how much that cost me. It came on a floppy disk. That's how old it was. And then I moved into some other softwares that were like Phoenix, and at the time I already had a remote control. So if you bought like a connection that comes with this, like a trainer cord, you could plug it into the back of your controller and use that as a simulator. And then eventually I stepped up to RealFlight because it had photorealistic fields, and that's the only simulator I ever liked after that. When Phoenix came out, I didn't like it, so I just continued to fly with RealFlight. So anyway, so yeah, if you want to get a simulator, go online, look around, go to your RC forums, and usually they have classified sections where guys are trying to sell their older equipment. That's how I get all my equipment. I've got a radio for half price. I got a helicopter for almost pennies on the dollar. And what I did was I went on eBay and I found RealFlight 6.5, which is not the latest version. Actually, I think it's RealFlight 7.5 now. So I got it for, I think, $65 shipped. I think the brand new version of RealFlight costs about maybe 150 probably. You gotta go over to Great Plains to see how much it costs. I don't know if Tower Hobbies is still a thing. It used to be a big thing back then that sold all Great Plains stuff. But if you want to look into RealFlight, just go to realflight.com and look up their simulators. But they got pretty cool stuff with their simulators. This one's the Mega Helipack. So I came back to fly primarily remote control helicopters. This has a couple quadcopters on it, and to be honest with you, the quadcopters on this are a lot harder to fly than any of the ones I've ever flown. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't know how to fly quadcopter, but I wanted to train with them because I'm thinking about buying some racing quads. So, yeah, I mean, you can get all your practicing over the wintertime on a sim. And what I'm going to do is just show you some of the, if you've never seen a simulator or how it works, I want to show you some of the things that you can do with one. And learn how to kind of maneuver through some stuff here. So let me get my keyboard. Let me switch over. So right now, and I don't know if I can get this off autofocus, but it might try to keep track of that helicopter there. So right now, let's go into something like the Mega Helipack came with about, I don't know, there's 145 models on there. Half of them have to be helicopters. But it also has the other half for jets and airplanes. And there's even a swamp boat on this one too, which was pretty cool. I didn't realize that RealFlight would have a swamp boat on it. But let's go. Let's select an aircraft. And when I was flying this, oh, it's already in the big screen. When I was flying, I used to like to fly foamies. So let's see if I can find a foamy real quick. There's that swamp boat I told you about. I'm going to keep this short, guys. I'm going to get two aircrafts up here. Show you how you can kind of learn on these. There's a stunt plane. I like foamies. And just, hopefully I'm not boring you while scrolling through this so you can see actually how many aircrafts are on this thing and the different types. Here's foamy. Let's go with this one. I don't know how this one flies. It's fixed pitch prop, so it should be fly. It should fly pretty good. So let's select that one. There's a Camera stopped on me, so let's go back in. This one actually has two different models. It's got a variable pitch prop like a helicopter would have to control your thrust. So you can actually, some guys are actually using these to do reverse flight with airplanes. But I'm going to just use a fixed pitch prop just to play around with it. I don't want to mess around with variable pitch. It's been so long since I've messed with one of these. So let's hit OK, get this thing up in the air. And if you want to learn on something cheap, foamies are great because they're literally flat foam with, you can put, for airplanes, you can put inexpensive electronics on it. You don't need the latest, greatest digital servos to fly one of these things. You can fly in the same servos that you buy for these low cost or cheap Chinese aircrafts from the Chinese websites. You can put on these things for like $7 or $8 to get a foamy up in the air for probably less than $60 if you have the radio. So much power this thing's got. Okay. For some reason it wasn't letting me pull it off the ground. I don't know why. That was me, dumb thumbed it. And that's why it's great to have a simulator, because if you dumb thumb it or crash it, no cost to you. Okay, it's been a while, guys, so I gotta get the hang of this again. But yeah, foamies are great for learning. I mean, they're a little bit squirrely. You can definitely tune out some of the squirreliness of them. They're definitely a little bit squirrely. But you can tune that out and make it a slow flyer. Turn down the throttle on this thing a little bit and keep the throttle down low so that you're not getting this thing ripping. Because it will crash if you get it ripping or if you let that throttle go. So let's get it up again. And in real life, I'm going to tell you, you want to get up here to practice. You don't want to be, I'm practicing down low because I'm used to flying down low when I was to fly remote control aircraft. I used to be close to the ground, but you definitely want to keep it up high and in the comfort or safety zone, where if you made a mistake like that, you want to be able to roll out of it. Caught it. Dumb thumbed it. So before I run up too much time on this, let's switch it to another aircraft, and which is my favorite. And I'm coming back with, I'm going to start out with 450 size electrics. I really like nitro. I like big 90 size nitro helicopters, but the cost of getting back into a 90 size nitro is a little bit much for me right now. Plus I would have to get all the support gear like the starters and stuff like that. So this is a little 450. And especially with remote control helicopters. If you want to get in remote control helicopters, there's no cost to crashing something in the sim. But on a real life helicopter or a real helicopter, on a little 450, the costs are not as much as a larger helicopter. 450 booms cost like $2, so putting this thing back together might cost you $30 if you crash a 450 versus 100 or $230 for a 50 to 90 size helicopter. I like this one because it's got a little bit of power to it. And I mean, it's a little bit more powerful than what I remember my little 450 T-Rex being, but it's definitely got some punch. Holds these maneuvers pretty good. It was TikToks would have loaded up a 450 back when I was flying 8 years ago, but we were probably running inferior batteries compared to what are out now that can pull amazing amounts of current and amperage. The ones that we were messing with probably had 10C draws. I saw a battery online the other day. It was like I think it said something like 90C draw, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. So you can definitely, like I said, practice all your tricky maneuvers close to the ground before you got out in real life and tried it and busted up your helicopter. And right now, I totally forget how to do auto rotations. Sorry. some reason this camera, when I'm filming in dual camera mode, shuts off after 5 minutes again. So I was saying, I totally forget how to do auto rotation, so I got to get out and learn how to do auto rotations. You can auto a 450, and you can auto anything from 30 up, but 450s don't auto well. They might auto from 10 feet off the ground, but not from 100 feet off the ground. So I forget how to do auto rotations. I forget how to do, like I used to be able to do this, you can't see past the camera, like that figure 8 maneuver right there that I just started. I kind of bailed out of it, where you kind of go in this way, and you come out this way. Forget how to do all these maneuvers, so I got to get this practice. I used to be able to do figure 8 funnels. So with a helicopter, funnel's more like this. Unless it's up right side up funnel. And I used to be able to do it with figure 8 and drop it in upside down and fly it out like that. But I'm really sloppy on the tail with this thing, so I'm having a hard time doing it. I don't know what the hell my kid is back there laughing about. I don't know if he's laughing about me because I can't see him right now, concentrating, or laughing at something he's watching on YouTube. But I've broken my concentration. But yeah, this is a great way to learn. Basically, if you go out and get yourself a sim before you go out and get yourself a real aircraft, you'll build up that confidence you need to kind of get out there and do these maneuvers in real life. And I'm just stunting right now because another thing when you're on the sim, when I say stunting, that means I'm intentionally trying to do something crazy because, like, if it does that, I want to know how to get out of it. That's where crashes happen. When you do a maneuver and then you go, oh, I spun the tail too much. How do I get out of it? You got to figure out how to do it and get out of it. And that just comes from repeatedly doing maneuvers over and over again and remembering how you pulled out of it the last time. I've crashed so many helicopters coming back and doing a maneuver like this and then forgetting what I want to do and then couldn't figure out how to get out of it. But yeah, guys, this is coming up on 15 minutes, so hopefully this is a little bit of information that can help you get into the hobby. I'm pretty sure with Real Flight, since they have a couple of quads on the sim that I have, they might have more on a quad package that they will sell you. In fact, let me see if I can find that quadcopter. So I've never even heard of this thing. I'm gonna pause this for a second, so I don't want to put any time, but I'll be right back. Okay, so here it is, and I believe this is pronounced Gouai. I have no idea what kind of quadcopter this is or why it has a ball in the front of it, but I tried to fly this thing, and I could not control it at all. Like, I could control it, but it was like all over the place, and I was flipping switches because I don't know what all the switches are on like race quads or other use quads. I'm only used to the type of quads that I've flown, which are gyroscopically stabilized or GPS stabilized. So when I get this thing off the ground, I'm guessing the ball is for orientation or something because I can tell which direction it's going. But it's just so fast, and I don't know. Okay, so I'm having better luck with it now. Before it was just so fast and we get out of because it has no. I guess it's the ball that's for orientation. Because it doesn't have like any lights or flashing indicators of which direction I was going. Once it got out farther away from me, I could not figure out what this thing was doing. Like that. Like, why did that happen? I don't even know why that happened. I just totally dumb-thumbed it because I don't know how to control this thing. Let's restart and try it again before the battery runs out. Before my camera stops again. Alright, so if you guys can tell me what kind of quadcopter this is and what its purpose is and how you keep it in the air because it seems to want to fall out of the air when I bank it, please leave a comment below. And maybe this is something I need to know for racing quads, because that sucker gets some pitching. And look at that. Oh yeah, you know what else this thing can do that I didn't realize? I mean, I never tried it, but I've seen guys who race quadcopters do. They flip them. But I don't know how to come out of the flip. I just always crash it like that. But I've seen guys in the videos flip these things over. I think I got killer throttle. Let's try it again. Almost caught it. I don't know. Let me try flipping the switches and see if that does anything. I'm going to come up on 420. So, yeah, guys, if you can help me out with that, I appreciate it. And, again, thanks for watching the vlog. And stay tuned for giveaways. I'm going to be giving away some stuff pretty soon. A couple quadcopters. And I even got some airplanes I'm waiting for the review. So, again, thanks for watching. And I'll get back to you soon. Bye.